So excited to introduce Tamara to some of you. A lot of you guys know her and know her story, but she's going to take a couple minutes and share a little bit of her Plexus testimony. Go ahead, Tam.
Yeah. Um, it's funny thinking back to so many years ago when I got started because it's literally been 12 years. But I remember truly clear as day. I kept seeing testimonies on Facebook. And a lot of them were weight loss. Some of them were about energy. But I was totally focused on losing 20 pounds because I'd had my first daughter. It had been a couple years. I was like getting into clean eating and cooking something besides scrambled eggs and macaroni and cheese. Like I was trying to get my diet on point, and for some reason, I could not lose the 20 pounds. Well, let's be honest. I was also drinking like sweet tea every day and chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream at night while watching Netflix. But other than that, I was really trying hard. But it was just these stubborn pounds that I couldn't get rid of. And so I had been looking at Plexus, researching, doing some Googling, asking people here and there about it, strangers, to be honest with you, just anybody I would see that would post about it. And I had decided, I don't know, skeptical, as many people are before they order. Well, I was in Target one day and I was strolling my daughter around. She was almost two. And this sweet older lady walked up to me and actually reached her hand towards my belly and asked me when my second baby was due. And I was like, oh, okay, I've got to go home and order these products. And so that very night, I contacted a friend who was a neighbor of mine and I said, girl, we've been talking about this. Let's do this together. Let's see who can lose, 20 pounds first, because she was also wanting to drop some weight. And so the Target comment, like that was it for me. And so I ordered the products. I did not tell my husband. He was in school at the time to become a physician assistant, and it was very time consuming and very money consuming. And so I didn't really want him to know I'd spent the money on it, to be honest. So I hid the products when they came in. And I would get up and take them in the morning while he was in the shower and then literally jump back in bed, like covers on top, like, oh, hey, how was your shower? Like acting like I had just woken up. And so it was about 2 or 3 weeks in. I remember we were sitting at the dinner table one night, and or maybe it was breakfast. That's unclear. And he said, "You seem different. Like you seem more motivated, like in a better mood, more energetic." And I was like, "Okay, I've been keeping something from you." And so I shared with him about the products and what they had been doing. And one thing he pointed out to me, he goes, "I noticed you haven't had a migraine." And I can't believe at the time that did not dawn on me because I had chronic migraines for years. I had been on preventative medication that had side effects I didn't love. Um, I had been struggling with headaches for literally years, and so I stopped taking the medication because I would get them even with the medication, and so I stopped taking the medication, and lo and behold, I didn't have migraines for months. And that was such a huge deal to me because I would literally have to cancel plans sometimes because they were so frequent in my life. And so that was such a blessing, and a blessing I wasn't seeking out and one I was not expecting. And then also, y'all, I lost the 20 pounds. In a few months, I ended up dropping that weight. My energy increased. My sugar cravings were the first thing I noticed to go, which was a big deal. Again, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream and sweet tea from McDonald's every morning by 10 o'clock. And that was a huge deal. I was like, I'm not craving sugar. I'm reaching for the cashews instead of the chocolate chip cookie dough. And so that just really catapulted me into my health journey. And I got a little interested in the business because I shared it with a few people. They became customers. They started having results. I got my first paycheck in the mail. It was $240. I'll never forget it. I got it in the mail, check form. And I remember telling my husband, I was like, I don't know how I made this money, but I'm intrigued. And so I sat down, I read the compensation plan, and I read through it again, and something just clicked because I had done network marketing before, but there was something about this business model that I thought, this is different. I wasn't successful last time. Actually, I was successful, but when I got pregnant, I got really sick. And so I wasn't working near as much. And my paycheck went to zero in less than 6 months, literally zero. And I had spent years building that business. And so I was skeptical of the business too. But there was something in me that goes, this is different. There's something about this compensation plan that's structured is different. So I went all in. Of course, I had struggles along the way, belief struggles, mindset struggles, comparison struggles where I thought, I don't have what it takes to be a leader. I don't have what it takes to be successful in this. And, that would take a lot more time to explain how I overcame those. But if I had to sum it up in a couple sentences, it would be that um, my fear of failure wasn't as strong as my desire to succeed and my desire to find that financial flexibility, to continue my health journey, to help other women that were just like me. I mean, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of women, and that was just really like motivating to me. And so we're all going to have struggles. We're all going to have road bumps. We're all going to have times where we're like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get to where I want to be? That is normal. I want you to hear me when I say normalize that for yourself because everybody experiences it. Even the people that you see at Emerald and Sapphire and Diamond, they've been through those hard times. It's all about overcoming them and pivoting and figuring out how you can look for a different path and look for a different way and overcome those struggles. And my husband even says all the time, it's so cliche, but it's true. He goes, you don't really feel anything unless you just decide to stop, unless you just decide to quit, right? That's with eating right, exercising, our business, our Bible study, whatever it is. You really only fail if you just quit and you push it away. So, Emily, I don't know if that's